Hey guys, Sordax here after how long?
It's been 2 months, at least.
Has it really? Well, let's see. The last thing I uploaded was I think it was the OTT deck profile.
Too long.
Yeah, it's been about 2 months. I needed a break from
More
uploading.
videos.
I needed a break. The last two sets weren't really all that interesting for me. Well, the set after Q4 was the friggin' what's it called?
Destructive Roar,
Yeah.
which you built nothing from.
Yeah, well, I picked up some Mega Colony cards for Zoa, Gerdora build. And
Premium Wombo combos don't count.
well, I needed support cards from that, and then also then recently the Asia Champion, which I still need to pick up some Grand Blue stuff for my Night Rose deck.
Yeah, but once again, premium.
Yeah, right now we're just focusing on the new V series, V for victory. Anyways, I'm here against my will at my friend's house because he's like, you need to upload shit. I'm like, okay, fine.
It's
I'll come over.
Kier.
Yes, it is here, Mr. D Robo himself. With his
Clearly, I'm playing Bermuda Triangle. I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
don't know, like those force markers, the mat, the sleeves, yeah.
I have no idea what you're
I
talking
have
about.
no idea what we're doing. Anyways, I have no idea what I'm doing anymore. Alright, so since it's not me, it's Kier doing the deck profile, I'm just gonna shut up and we'll let him take it over. So go ahead.
It's Dimension Police.
No shit!
Well, except for one card, which we will get to in a moment, but yes, this is going to be standard for Dimension Police. This is not the budget build, this is very much the dump everything you can into this deck build, focusing on Daisha. So, got the gift markers here. The Kote hot stamp gift marker still eludes me. It is retailing for about 85 Canadian, which is a little bit horrifying and kind of sad.
I still would like to look for Misaki. Protect mark.
She's gone down a little bit, but
I
still.
know, but still. It's waifu.
Starting Vanguard, we'll start off from there, is Dimensional Robo, Goyusha. Not much to say. All the clans are going to get their generic ride one, draw one clones until the second wave of support, probably. So we'll see around the third set for, I want to say Miyagi High School. We might see a new starting Vanguard for Roll Paladin at least. Maybe a Wingull or something. So, Goyusha. So our trigger lineup is pretty... might be stale to some people. Come over to the camera. 4 die battles. 4 Justice Cobalt, 8 crits. So this deck does suffer from a bit of lack of natural draw power. Most of your draws are going to be from Miracle Cutie and from Die Brave. So if you want to play a 6-6 split, it's also good. I just feel like the crits bring more pressure, which this deck really does focus on. So yeah, 8 crits. Oh no. They don't want to leave me. Your PGs of choice are the Draw PG, Diamond Ace. I think the new art is really cool compared to the old one. Reminds me and a lot of people of JoJo Part 5. Mostly because of the whole golden theme. I like it. And our trusted and true heal triggers are Dimensional Robo, Go Rescue. Not Go Rescue, Go Rescue. Typical 20k shield, so no need for G Guardians in standard format. Not that we can use them in the first place. No judge calls here. For grid ones, this is kind of actually more flexible than people assumed it would be. There's a lot of room for grid ones to play around with in this deck, but you must have 4 of Dimensional Robo Die Brave. So it's got a once per turn Vanguard or Rearguard skill to Soul Blast 1 and give your Vanguard 5,000 power. So working on Vanguard Circle also pretty nice if you want to put some more pressure on your opponent. Second skill is when your Vanguard's attack hits, you may put them into Soul and draw a card. So it must hit another Vanguard, must be Vanguard 2 Vanguard. Some cards in the set are just hits a Vanguard, but no, it must be your Vanguard swinging and smack them in the face, which will happen at least once out of 2 swings in this deck. So, 4 Die Brave. Very good card. I play 4 Dimensional Robo Die Mariner. We're seeing a lot of, now they're called Battledore clones, I guess, after Battledore Fighter from United Q4.
Yeah.
So when you place him, you soul blast one and give your Vanguard its own skill. That I believe its own skill. Yes. When your opponent would call guardians from their hands to guard that attack, they must drop at least 2 from hand. This does not count interceptors. So if they use a 5k interceptor, like you see in the mirror match, they pop a Miracle Dandy from their rear guard for a 15k shield. They don't have to do any more. But if they're calling from their hand, even for perfect guards, they must guard with 2 cards. So when you're swinging with your Dayusha's crits and high numbers, it's just making them lose more when they want a PG anyway. So it's a pretty good card. Fair disclaimer, this does not stay with Vanguards you re-ride mid-battle phase. So I'll get that when the grade 3s hit, but keep that in mind. So once per turn thing, really. I play 3 copies of the Chief in Command, Commander Laurel. Some play 2, some play 4. He's a very niche card in people's opinions. If you're stuck on Great Dayusha where you can't really ramp up power by yourself, he does generate a lot of power for you. So his skill, as a 6k, grade 1, not a 4k, on the rear guard only, once per turn, you can counterblast 1 and rest 4 rear guards of your choice, and you give 1 unit its double power and a crit. This is nice because you can give it to units. You don't have to give it to your Vanguard. If your Vanguard's already pretty big as it is, you can give it to a Die Dragon and double that's already 30k power to 60, and give it a crit, make it a little bit terrifying. So, overall good card. I might actually move him to 4. He's very useful, and the 6k power doesn't really make a big difference, as the usual rest most rear guards and he's by himself.
What about the ruling about only running 1 Laurel?
Oh yes, so there was
Inform us, please.
This is actually very important. The old Commander Laurel from BTO4 as double rare was limited to 1 for premium players. This is actually very important to know. You can, however, mix Laurels in your deck, as only the previous one was put to 1. There is no current limitation or ban on the current Commander Laurel from Asia Circuit. So, in a other deck I played, the Gallop and Dayusha premium deck, which we may cover in the future, for that I actually play 1 OG Commander Laurel from set 4, and then 3 other Laurels from the new set, just to balance things out. Thank you for pointing that out.
You're welcome.
Remember how I said I was playing Bermuda Triangle? Kind of, not really. Maybe more of a cutesy clan overall.
It's probably a cutie card.
It's a cutie card. So, this is a Dimensional Robo, right? Right? Yeah. Hey, pass those cards over there. And I need to make a comparison over here. So, with
which one?
There is a card.
Oh, the original.
Yeah, I kept the original for justification. We're supposed to get something like this. Something like, rolling tank with cannons and a cool look. This is the old card, by the way, not the new card. We don't have the new card art yet because there was a misprint. So instead we get the Heart Lolly, cute magical girl. I have no idea.
Moi moi kyun kyun. Kyun kyun cannon.
Hey, you said not me.
Moi moi kyun kyun.
I mean, most fans of this clan were pretty happy to get this kind of card misprint. It's funny because it keeps the same quote text it would normally have, and the illustrator as well, but it's an entirely different card.
Wait, does it actually?
It does actually. People thought this might be a card for Buddy Fight or a different card game, and the art got submitted to the wrong team at Bushiroad's translation teams. People thought it would be the sneak peek promo card, but we got something else instead for Aquaforce that must have been shut down or last minute change. Either way, the card is still good at 2 copies. Dielander's skill is, if your Vanguard's power is 30k or more, opponents cannot intercept. So while this may not seem like a big deal right now, quite a few cards in the game are getting more shield bonus power on Guardian Circle and Rearguard Circle when they can be moved. So people can bypass some of the Die Mariner restrictions by intercepting. But also, it helps when you want to smack, say, a rearguard or someone else, and your field's pretty big with your dragons hitting for 25, 30k on average, so shouldn't be a big problem. But 2 of, no more than that. Alternatively, if you feel like you want more pressure, you can always play a pair of Dimensional Robo Die Tiger. I love the new art compared to the old one. It's fantastic. His skill is when your Vanguard, I believe, hits a Vanguard, same as before. Yeah. Vanguard to Vanguard. You may put Die Tiger into Soul and retire a rear guard. So we have some level of control of the deck. It's all very RNG based. Once again, you can't smack away Promise Daughters, but everything else is more or less good to go. So, for grade 2s, a favorite of mine, oldie and the goodie, used to be a 12k beater, now Dimensional Robo Die Dragon. Its first skill is exact same copy of Die Brave. You Vanguard or Rearguard Soul Blast 1 for 5,000 power to Vanguard. But its second skill, it's why it's a little bit devastating. Continuous. If your Vanguard power is 30k or more, this card gets 10,000 power. Combine that being on a force marker, you're a 30k attacker by yourself. Also, these skills can still go off on your opponent's turn. So you take 2 damage triggers and give them to your Vanguard. Your Die Dragon technically also gets a trigger because they get that power up. So, these are the only cards I believe that actually use Soul in the deck. If you tend to run low, Die Braves are good to put back into Soul. Otherwise, though, it shouldn't be a problem. Oh yeah, sorry, Die Mariner does as well. Die Mariner, Die Brave, and Die Dragon all use Soul, so might not be worth looking into some Soul charging there. So, next is not a Dimensional Roll, but 4 Cosmo Beak. I remember this card being so bad back in the old days. Actually very good right now with the 10k base body power that most Force Clans get. A very simple skill as well. Only on Rearguard, you counterblast 1 and your Vanguard and this unit get 5,000 power. So once again, this deck doesn't actually counterblast much, if at all. Only 2 units to my knowledge use it, being Super Dayusha and Cosmo Beak itself. So I have no problem tossing out a pair of these on the first grade 3 turn and just getting a free 10k power up. Solid card. For the last grade 2, this is a bit of a probably predictable moment for the deck. 3 Miracle Cutie. Again, a very simple card. When your Vanguard only, your Vanguard's power is 30k or more, and this hits Vanguard, you draw a card. A lot of people prefer to play Miracle Dandy because he tends to give that extra 15k shield, which this deck does like in defense form. But I believe having more of the on-hit draw power is more of a threat, especially if you can pull off things like the Laurel giving the power-ups, if you're stacking force markers on your rear guards instead of the Vanguards. I just think there's more pressure to be had by having more on-hits on the rear guards too. They'll be guarding your Daisha anyway, so why not spice it up. For grade 3s, we're playing 4 copies of Super Dimensional Robo Dayusha. So I have 3 copies of the normal art and then 1 copy of the origin art, which I love very much. This card was so much better than we were all expecting. It's simple but very powerful. Its first skill is a continuous, even on your opponent's turn for some reason. If your power reaches 35 or more, he gains +1 crit. So this means during your battle, if you have 28 power, including a boost, say, for example, and you check your trigger, you can give that trigger to your Dayusha, and it will activate the crit. It's fun to get 3 damage in 1 turn. His second skill, really, really good for setting up if you have not so many great cards in your hand. You choose any number of rearguards you want and rest them. You cannot rest rearguards you've already rested before. It's very important. For each rested unit you rest, you gain 10,000 power to the Vanguard. So you'll never actually boost a Dayusha, considering the max boost you'll get is 8,000 power. You'll always rest the guy behind Dayusha. Generally speaking, you'll always get that power up. So you'll always be swinging for a high number, more than likely. You'll want to put your first gift marker underneath the Vanguard for that free 10,000 power. Then you have to rest 2 rear guards, or maybe, 2 rear guards and like 1 Die Dragon or Cosmo Beak or other cards that fuel the power up in the deck, and you're good to go. So, really good card. But the next one is where the deck has its technical finisher. We've got Ultimate Dimensional Robo Great Dayusha, I was so surprised. You can ask Sordax when we got 2 Dayusha in one set.
Oh, bullshit.
How bad was I freaking out about this?
Pretty freaked out.
Pretty freaked out. I thought it was a hoax. Because you don't usually get 2 forms of one card in the same set, more or less. So, I forgot to mention, all these are Force clans, obviously, so Force gift markers. But Great Dayusha skill, when you first ride him, or place him even, so it does work in premium Legion builds as well. When you place him, all your 3 of your front row gears get 10,000 power. So they've all kind of got a free trigger boost from that one place. And the second skill is a hand skill. If you're at the end of the battle that your unit attacked, if its power was 45 or greater, you may counterblast 1, ride this card as stand, and give him plus 10,000 power. So this means your attack doesn't have to hit. You just need to be at 45 or more. The trick is the card also says if your Vanguard was not placed during this turn, then you can ride this card as stand. So you can't ride during your ride phase and then go into Great Dayusha mid-battle. So most players will go Super Dayusha turn on the Grade 3 first turn. Then second turn they'll want to battle phase ride into Great Dayusha. And next turn, if they can get the power increase from, say, Laurel or other cards, they'll probably go for that Great Dayusha again, or they'll go back into Super Dayusha and begin a pattern. So this card's amazing because you ride him and you get a force marker mid-battle phase. So you can kind of fix the problems of your board. If there's a damage trigger in the first hit, you can kind of allocate power to people who need it. Very, very good card, worthy of VR for sure, and it's a very fun card, devastating even. But we're not done. We have one more Great Leader to play. Mass Police Leader Silbard. So some play him at 2. I play him at 1. Much like other cards, his skill is continuous on the rearguard circle. If your Vanguard's power is 30k or more, he gains 5k and a crit. So he has no gift marker. Very important to know. If you ride him, you're suffering. No way going about that. But he's kind of like a mini Die Dragon. He gets a power up, but he also gains a crit. So a lot of players will put pressure on their Dayusha to have that power and crits up to go, but also using a Commander Laurel to pump up this guy to be like 45, 50k with 2 crits. Or rather 3 crits, technically. Because Laurel does give a crit, so it'd be 3 critical, because they all miss 1. So you'll have 2 units swinging for really high amounts of power, and just kind of a pain to deal with. You have to have these 2 perfect guards, not counting if you include Die Mariner skill from before. So definitely powerful. 1 copy or 2 is fine, and again, you must use Imaginary Gift Force markers. I'm still on the hunt for my Kote ones. They are elusive, and the ones I can find are really expensive. Crazy expensive. Yeah, that should be all for the deck profile. It's very simple. There's no sideboard yet, technically, for no G-Zone cards. Yeah, the purpose of this deck is very much a kind of a back and forth. You usually want to go into... use the old one for reference. You want to go into Dayusha first. If you can, without a turn, Superior Ride the second one from your hand. Like I said before, if you have another Great Dayusha in hand, you can somehow pump him up to 45 on your turn. I say go for it again. Otherwise, you want to go back to normal Dayusha for that crit pressure and see if you can make him drop more cards. But yeah, I've taken the time to steal Sordax to do a deck profile. It was long overdue.
Yeah, I am not currently tied up in the corner right now.
Well, I mean, cut the tape.
Anywho, I'm just gonna slowly roll, as, again, I am tied up. But yeah, guys, don't ask about how I did the V in the beginning and now I'm tied up. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. I know it's been a while since I posted anything on the channel, but we're slowly getting there.
Maybe we even backtrack and do Spike Brothers.
Maybe Spike Brothers, or maybe actually do that Alfred deck profile I promised a while back and didn't do.
It's either I hijack your channel or you make more videos. One of the two.
Either way, I am now forced to upload videos now. Not quite. Anyways,
no breaks.
I need a break sometimes. But yeah, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. Have any questions about the deck build, feel free to leave comments in the video, and Mr. Kier will be more than happy to respond.
Maybe. Probably, yes.
Unless you're trolling.
Always trolling.
Yeah. And yeah, we will see you guys in the next video.
Until the next misprint.
Bye-bye.